Welcome to the Digital Marketing News. I'm Tiffany Allen.
And with your first story, I am Joshua Knight, and you can come together right now over me.
Great.
Because, well, I'm never going to pass up an opportunity to quote the Beatles, but this week there is kind of a super group combination of big players in the marketing data field happening. So we got hashtag client SAP, got the Microsofts, maybe you've heard of them.
Yeah.
Adobe, very big with graphics and PDFs and buildings made out of mud. They have announced a data alliance. So this is called the Open Data Initiative. The idea is that data on each of their specific platforms will be able to be shared across the platforms in a very groovy, kind of vendor-neutral, interoperable kind of way. So I think this is super cool for marketers. This is going to break down those silos between sales and marketing and customer experience and enable that single view of a customer that we're always talking about. And that idea that all of these departments are working to the same goal, treat customers right, have them buy stuff.
Right.
So maybe we should all be sharing data and getting a bigger view of that customer journey. So I'm super stoked about that. Keep an eye on that in the future. Open Data Initiative, or the ODI.
Will do. Speaking of data,
yes.
There's new data.
Brent Spiner?
No. So a new forecast from Zenith shows that the global advertising market is expected to expand by 4.5% this year, and then by 4.2% in both 2019 and 2020.
Oh my.
Yes, those are large numbers if you think about it in terms of billions of dollars, not just percentages. There we go. So driving growth will be social media advertising, predicted to rise by 16% annually from 2017 to 2020. So from last year until, later. Search with a forecasted annual growth of 8% over the same period. And display is the fastest growing subset of those advertising categories with an expected annual growth of 13% over the same time period, fueled largely by video ads, replacing static image ads on social media.
Replacing radio star ads on social media.
Absolutely. And online video spend is set to grow by about 18% annually, and social media ad spend by 16% annually.
That is amazing.
It is amazing. So what's interesting about that whole thing is that the display advertising market will be almost a third larger than the paid search market by 2020.
My gosh. So speaking of display ads, if you were going to display an ad right now digitally, what platform might you use?
The internet.
Good idea. More specifically, though, maybe think about Reddit.
Oh.
So Reddit, we're always surprised when it pops up. Maybe it's time to quit being surprised, because they, in less than a year after launching their native video format, they have now had 1 billion video views. They are approaching 1 million native uploads per month.
Wow.
So that's in addition to all the content that people are posting from YouTube or elsewhere. And Reddit has said they're not seeing a drop in links to video content either. So all of this seems to be additive.
Right.
So a lot of growth happening on Reddit. They're saying that they have around 330 million active monthly users.
Wow.
And their ad revenue has tripled in just the past 3 years.
Wow.
So amazing growth on there. Their audience is growing. Is your audience on Reddit? Probably.
Yeah.
Reddit is a very weird, heterogeneous community, so it's not to say there is one particular type of person. They cover all kinds of demographics. So I would say take a peek, some of the subreddits, see if your audience is going to be there. And again, Reddit is a very prickly community, so definitely come with authenticity and come with value, but I think it's worth exploring.
Right. I would agree. So did you hear the news last week about that Facebook data breach?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Facebook went ahead and confirmed that there was almost 50 million user accounts were compromised following a hacker attack late last week. Attackers exploited a weakness in the View As tool, so allowing you to view your profile as somebody else. It had something to do with authenticating tokens.
Elves and gnomes, yeah.
Elves, gnomes, and the internet. So the View As feature has subsequently been temporarily disabled from the platform to, obviously allow for further investigation and troubleshooting. This is the second time this year that Facebook has been forced to apologize to users after their personal information was manipulated. So we are seeing some trust in Facebook's ad platform, just their overall data protection kind of dwindling. Folks are starting to pull some of their ad spend from Facebook. We saw this with the last attack. It lasted for about a week and things bounced back. Many experts are saying this probably won't affect Facebook long term. However, it's kind of a blight on their record. So they haven't yet determined who is responsible for the attack, but they have, of course, followed GDPR compliance were needed over in the European Union and have reported it to law enforcement. So we'll keep an eye out for developments on this story, but for the time being, hey, change your Facebook password and everything else regularly.
Yeah, good. Password hygiene is good. I feel like this isn't going to have a lasting effect for Facebook. I mean, as somebody probably says every 3 months, the internet has an incredibly short memory. So not something I would be deeply worried about, but definitely something to be aware of and to maybe make sure that your customers know that you are careful with their data, even if some other people aren't.
Right.
Right. Speaking of people who are awesome and careful with data, I'm sure, we wanted to highlight one of our blog posts this week that was the top post that people were reading and looking at and thinking about. So if you aren't aware of this, we want to let you know it's called Stop Gambling with Your Marketing and Go Pro with 10 Tips from PubCon Speakers. So this is great. We got a huge collection of folks who are speaking at PubCon, including Joe Palizzi, Deborah Jasper, we had Perna Virgi, and Scott Monty, and of course our own Lee Oden, and several more. So that's definitely worth checking out. That'll be linked in here, or you can just go to TopRank blog and find it your own self.
Yeah, and if you're going to PubCon, do check out Lee's speaking engagement. Check out what he's talking about. I got a sneak peek. I think it's pretty cool. I'll also be there. If you want to meet me, a celebrity and newscaster in person, happy to shake hands. But yeah, it'll be a really great time to kind of have the best minds in search come together and learn, talk, explore, etc.
Absolutely. Oh, speaking of the best minds, I wanted to highlight also something cool that one of our clients has been doing. So #client Dell does the Luminaries podcast. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
You familiar with it? I don't know why I'm Jay Leno. Have you heard of this? Do you know about this?
He likes it.
They their last episode of their podcast just went live, and it is super fascinating. This company is called Daqri, D-A-Q-R-I. Sadly, has nothing to do with booze, but it has to do with augmented reality.
Sweet.
And their CEO, I believe it's Roy Ashok, talks about how AI combined with augmented reality is going to change the way that people live and work.
Wow, that's amazing.
So super interesting. I mean, imagine like you want to install a new HVAC system in your office. So you just put on your glasses and you look up and overlaid on your office is all the pipes. And you can see like, that one goes through a raccoon and we can't have that. So.
Can't have it.
So a really interesting application of this across industries. Super cool to look at. So please check out cool stuff from clients.
Yes. Well, that's all the marketing news we have for you today. We'll be back next week with more news. If you need more in the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at Tiffany_Allen or TopRank at TopRank.
And you can find me at Nitewrites, that's Nitewrites. And if you enjoy our videos, please make sure to subscribe on the YouTubes and ding the little button so you see when we put new stuff up.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.